Talking about Garuda, Indonesia, for example, had some planes take off from Denpasar last night and do have scheduled arrivals at Australian airports this morning, but most Australian passengers would have been booked on Virgin or Jetstar flights. Virgin's cancelled all of its flights for today and last night as well, and it's going to reassess the situation at 1 p.m. this afternoon. Jetstar did a similar thing overnight, although they are going to reconsider the situation much earlier at about 8:30 this morning, that people can get a better sense of what is ahead for them. But obviously they're dealing not only with trying to get flights in and out, but dealing with this huge backlog of people, and you can't get people out until you can get planes there. With the airport having been closed for such long periods of time over the last few days, haven't been even able to get some planes in. So Jetstar says it's going to try and use some of the Qantas fleet over the next few days once the situation gets back to normal to get people back home. Virgin says that it will also make similar plans of doing whatever it possibly can to get people home, but a lot of people have complained about poor communication, the fact that some of their travel insurance isn't covering it, and as you mentioned a moment ago there, people being told that they can't rebook until several days or a week or so in advance. So certainly some disappointed people whose patients are being tested, not just at Australian airports, but also there in Denpasar, desperate to get home. Sylvia?
Yeah, frustration is certainly building. Chris, thank you. To make sense of all the chaos now, I'm joined by travel expert Phil Sylvester. Phil, thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
As we just heard, up to 2 weeks now before some Australians could make it back from Denpasar. Kids are supposed to be going back to school today and tomorrow across the country. What is your advice to Australians who are trapped there in Bali?
I think people are just going to have to be patient. I know it's terrible looking at those pictures. Is there anywhere worse to be than stuck in an airport? But people are just going to have to be patient. It's not like anybody has a secret fleet of anti-ash-clad aircraft that can get them out. They're just going to have to wait it out, I'm afraid.
Well, what about the Australians who are stuck in Australia and had planned to travel to Bali on their holidays? Do they have any rights or options for rescheduling those flights?
Look, I know it's not much by way of solace for people, but this is a classic situation of why you need travel insurance. This is absolutely why you need it. It's unforeseen circumstances, and if you're here in Australia right now, our company, Travel Insurance Direct, and I know some of the other companies are doing it as well, are allowing you to cancel your trip if it's not going to be possible. But there are, of course, as always, there are a few rules around like that. Is it going to be more expensive to cancel or to reschedule? So you really need to speak to your travel insurer about your options.
Well, with insurance, is that common? Will most insurance policies cover this sort of event?
All the good ones do.
Which is the percentage of?
Well, I imagine so. I mean, it's a very common part of travel insurance. It's all about unforeseen circumstances and who can predict a volcano going off. There's an absolutely classic situation.
So very quickly, those people who do not have any insurance, your advice to them?
Keep smiling. Sorry.
Yeah, it's so tough, these people. You know, it's something they look forward to once a year, and it's really added a lot of frustration to people. Perhaps they could get together with some other Australian families, get a big old villa in Seminyak and enjoy the 2 weeks.
Well, there are worse places to be stuck.
That's right,
absolutely.
there are worse places to be stuck, and a villa goes for a pretty decent price in Seminyak. All right, if you and any of your loved ones need up-to-date information about the status of flights to and from Bali, head to our website for all the latest, and we'll get an update shortly from, of course, Chris Urquhart at the airport as well. Phil, thank you.